Chad has been really awesome. I first learned about direct response marketing from him. He was kind of my foray into this whole thing, and I learned about workshops from him. He's probably the godfather of the workshop, because that's where I learned about it. I'd never heard of anybody doing workshops, and my practice was kind of in a little bit of a transition. Everything had changed. So when I started Killer Marketing, I really, really learned about the workshop for the first time, and it was something that really changed my practice. Everything kind of changed for me when we started to implement a lot of the stuff you were teaching, and I learned a lot of it from you. So what I want to ask you, what brought you to start doing workshops?
Well, it was a little bit of necessity. And so first workshop ever I did back in 2001 for a high school football team. It was around rotator cuff injuries, and it was just kind of like the team asked us to do it. It was I was the PT, and there was a trainer in there as well, and they wanted to do shoulder injury prevention. I volunteered to do it, but I really didn't have the need in that setting until I was in private practice. We started to see this huge decline in physician referrals. So hospitals were buying up the physicians in central Pennsylvania, and I knew that I had to figure out how to go direct to the consumer. Started looking outside of the community, or outside of the industry in physical therapy, and I saw other industries, financial services, to vacation rentals, to timeshares, there's an infinite number of industries that are doing workshops. And I knew we wanted to provide valuable information to the community that ultimately resulted in us being in better control of our new patients. And the huge effort there, Ray, really started in 2008. And I think the first workshop that we did there, we had 27 people in the room. 3 were competitors, other PTs that I was more than welcome to. We had an orthopedic surgeon, a family doc, and I quickly realized that we could get people in the room, but I had no idea what to do when these people were in the room. So it was a pretty tough learning curve in the beginning, but it was really out of need. We had huge competition, kind of in a melting pot, for the eye of the storm in central PA with not only the HOPS practices, but also we have a lot of HOPS competition. We have 2 major corporate PT companies that are headquartered in central PA. So it was really out of necessity more than anything else.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I was a little bit later in the process. Unfortunately, I kind of had you guys to kind of bring me into this entire thing. So now, in your workshops, you're really a hands-on kind of guy. You really like to get somebody up in front of the room and get hands-on. Would you mind talking about how you choose which person within the room, within the given workshop that you're going to bring up? What do you look for, like say if you're doing a low back pain sciatica workshop?
Yeah. So I cherry pick. Before I even started with delivering content in the workshop, in the very beginning, go around the room and I ask people to share their first name and either what they want out of the workshop or their main problem. So, for example, if I'm doing a back pain and sciatica workshop, I'm going to look for a very simple SI joint. Somebody pain with sitting, changing positions. I have pain when I get in and out of the car. It's easy to cross my left leg over my right, but it's really difficult to do, put my right shoe and sock on, something like that. And I'm looking for something that I can get just a dramatic and quick win. That
5-minute miracle.
Yeah, 5-minute miracle. They likely have been mismanaged in the past. They've seen other PTs, they've seen other chiros, they've been to massage therapy, they've had injections that didn't work.
So that chronic person has really been struggling.
Exactly. The one thing that I want to say about workshops is I'll back myself into a corner a little bit for a demonstration. That's just my personal preference. I know some therapists out there are scared to death to do a demo, let alone stand up in front of a group of people and talk. But yeah, I'm cherry picking. I know what I'm looking for. It's something very easy to treat where I can do a very simple light mobilization and help the person move better 5 minutes from now than they're moving.
Right, and you're really big on letting everybody else in the room that they're seeing what's happening.
Absolutely.
They're seeing that win and that you're helping somebody that has been in chronic pain for a long time get better. Now, you're sequencing for it. Like, so within the workshop, like, I know you give out information, you give out handouts, right? Anything somebody that's getting started, what would you recommend that they have together for their first workshop?
So, great question. Once somebody registers, whether you're using a print ad or direct mail and they're calling in, or whether you're using some sort of online automation or a registration form, anything like that, just think through from your own process what you would like to do if you were signing up for something similar. So we mail them, a package, a shock and awe package with testimonials in there. I wrote a book on back pain. We have a little advertisement for that they're going to get a copy of in the future. Some basic information that's going to dispel, let's say, the 10 most common objections that a person's likely going to have, and really preps them so that when I walk in the room or one of our therapists walk in the room to present, they already feel like they know, like, and trust us. So we kind of start there. What was the rest of your question? Just to make sure.
Things that somebody who's just starting out that you would recommend that they have, like the systems and the things in place that they should have for their first workshop. Somebody, because we have people that in the group that have expressed interest, but said they're afraid of making the leap. So I was looking for something that you should have these number of things, do this, handouts, confirmation calls, some of the stuff you were talking about.
Yeah. So once somebody registers until the time they get to the workshop, it's a very important time frame. It might be 2 weeks, 4 weeks, or even a day, but you want to get them information so they're indoctrinated that they already know, like, and trust you before you walk in the room. Second thing is, once the workshop starts, you want to keep it simple. You want to focus on 3 big points, not more than that. You don't want to overload them with PT jargon or language or super scientific medical terminology or anything like that. You want to speak like a layperson on literally a 5th grade reading level and keep your concepts very, very simple. The other thing that you want to show them that's really important is during the course, you want to share with them that there's hope for them. We surveyed through my YouTube channel 3,100 back pain and sciatica sufferers from all over the world. And so it was 3,100 out of roughly 300,000 people filled out this form, this survey. And most people that are in pain, if you think about their perspective, they feel like they're all alone, that they've tried everything for treatment, even if they've tried nothing. And they're curious if there's any hope, can they ever be better again? And you basically want to demonstrate to them that there's hope for them. That unless there's something that's an outlier, a huge red flag in terms of there's not something musculoskeletal going on, but there's something else that they need to see another clinician, that they're likely going to be okay. And so painting that picture is key. We do it with email and mail before the workshop, and then we keep it very, very simple. We hand them a worksheet that they fill out during the workshop, which is key. We do the demo, go through 3 points. At the end, this is what successful treatment looks like. And then the last 10 minutes of the workshop are your close, and that's where that can make or break you.
Right. And I love the sequencing. Some of the I do similar stuff. I do some of the ringless calls to voicemail. Also with people to try to work them in a little bit more, to even engage them a little bit more. You guys really have some great upfront tools to try to help bring in basically people from cold leads that are within the community that you guys can really help by bringing them into workshops for their local therapists. Your product X. Yep. Would you mind kind of telling us a little bit about that, and what that's going to do, how that's going to help local therapists get more people into their practice?
Yeah, so right now, people are going online for information. For example, I had my daughter at the pediatrician here a couple months ago. They wanted to do a treatment for her, and I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but I'm a minimalist, like an essentialist as a parent. And the pediatrician knows that I'm like that, and she said, "Hey, by the way, we want to do this treatment. Is this going to be okay?" And I said, "Well, is it toxic?" And she said, "It is not. There's research." So I literally, as we're standing there, I Googled the treatment that they were talking about, and I was like, "Oh, this is good. There's research on it. It's safe and effective from a site that I trusted." I said, "Sure, you can do the treatment." And so realize that is happening millions of times every single day all over the world. That people are going there first, for basic information. And really what that means is you need to be there. So with Product X, what we do is we work with directly with Google. Carl Mattiola, when Carl and I met, he was the head of online sales at Tesla Motors. He was the guy that figured out how to sell a $100,000 electric vehicle with an email and a web page, which is kind of crazy. And he wanted to bring his skill set here. So truth be told, many people see me online. I tried to do all that and I couldn't figure it out online. So with Product X, we've gone into Facebook. We have a Facebook ad rep that works for us and shows us exactly how to find ideal people, typically 45 to 65-year-old people online with Facebook, and for those people to click on our ads. And then ultimately it starts that sequence of automation up until the point where we're having human interaction, and we can talk with them at the workshop about what they're in pain, how their pain is affecting them day to day, and we can literally get them started on that.
Right, I love that. Yeah, I love the online review thing. Like that's huge. Like I'm always telling people about how important your online reviews are because of what you just said. Like right now, before I buy anything, I scroll the reviews and I look at it. People are doing that to us. People are doing that to us, and it's awesome that you guys are doing that and helping so many people through that. Helping practices, that don't know where to go, don't know what to do. So that's it. Hey, Chad, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it, man. Thank you for helping me out, and hopefully it helps everybody else out.
Great. And before we go here, I also want to thank you for being here, for not only investing in your own private practice, but also for helping our owners that we're working with as well, helping private practice across the board. So,
Thank you, man.
Right on.